Welcome everyone to Kubernetes SIG Apps for Monday, June 29th, 2020. Maciej, thanks for dropping the link into chat to the agenda. You beat me to it. We only have one thing on the agenda today, and that's a demo. If somebody else has another thing that they want to add to the discussion for today, please go ahead and add it into the open discussion area, and we'll get to it after the demo. Remus, I see you online. I take it you're the one whose demo this is?
Yes, hi Mark. Yes, it's me.
All right. Well, the floor is yours. You can go ahead and screen share to show us what you're going to do. And it's all yours.
Of course. Let me share my screen. How is disabled if you need screen sharing? Cannot share a screen.
Ah, it's not letting you share?
Nope.
All right. They must have changed the settings. Hold on.
Matt, you'll have to make him a co-host so that he can share the screen. Currently, only hosts can share the screen.
Screens now. All right.
Yeah.
Now you should be able to share the screen.
Yep. Cool.
Thanks for the info, Maciej.
Sure.
Okay, then. Chat Center. Let me start from UI first, because I know the Helm part is more interesting part as well. So as we know, Helm Hub, Artifact Hub, we missed one thing. You can use a central repository. You can search, you can do whatever, do many things, but you cannot point a Helm client and use all those 200 or whatever plus Helm repository we have here. So at JFrog community team, we have for the last 5 months, we are building a chart center. It has a different name before, but now it became Chart Center. And okay, first, it's a central repository. You can point to Chart Center, and all 200 plus repositories are available there. So what we do, we check the repo YAML on Helm Hub, add those repositories. If there are new ones, we add them as well. And as well, we support adding pull requests as well directly to Chart Center. So let me share, sorry, how it works. So it's quite simple. It's copying, okay. Repo add center. So I'm adding a Helm repository calling center. Using Helm client tree. Hope my VPN is not breaking anything. Yeah. Oh yeah, it takes a little while because we have a big index file, so it takes longer. So Helm repo update. So that will fetch different repositories. And I have a center as well in my list. And now I can do Helm search center. So we added an extra namespace. Now it's called center. So I need Bitnami. So that's a repository name and the chart. SQL. So, sorry. Repo. Cool. So it found 2 charts. So we can pull them. One chart. Of course, now it will pull a Postgres one. Cool. So that's basically just extra namespace. We're still keeping the repository name and the chart name. And that's basically from the client side. The index file is a bit modified, and we took some keywords, maintainer sources, to make it smaller, because otherwise it's too big to handle 200 plus repositories. And I think we have almost 29,000 charts. So this could be very big. So remove those bits, it's kind of not bad. We run ourselves a JFrog for everything. So Helm client and even Docker content doesn't choke to getting that index file. Okay, let me show the UI. So it looks the same, nice, cool. And again, I want to search for example, for some chart. PostgreSQL. So we got PostgreSQL, information about chart, API version, app version. Oh, we don't have license. Cool. Download. How many downloads you got? How to set up as a center. Next interesting thing, yeah, chart info, use by. Okay, let me change. I think I was using this one. So use by. So there are a couple of charts which are using that. Postgres. So dependencies, yes, we see using Docker image, and we have this triangle high. So basically showing the security issues as well in the Docker images. Want to go deeply, you can go to security. You get CVEs, the list, you can have a graph, which part is impacted, stuff like that. And see, high is not shown because this chart doesn't have, oh yeah, so we added a new thing, security mitigations. So basically you can write the notes or for a CV and explain why, how, what's happening. And when you don't have a security mitigation YAML file included in your chart, the high is disabled. So let me go back to used. I had created the demo chart for that, which using PostgreSQL. So dependencies again. So we see I have Postgres, I have Go application showing some Golang 112 point, there was some security issues. And if I go to security, now again, I see CVs, I see high because I did add the security mitigation notes like here, and it applies to that CV, below equals to that version, it's a high security issue. And you can explain what exactly is the issue. I think that's it. It's just simple, nice UI. We have a few feature charts. We like to have them. Oh yeah. So to add a chart, we just go to our chart center or JFrog on GitHub. You can open a pull request. It's very similar to Helm Hub YAML file. You add the repository, and repository will be accepted. Small checks. We have a roadmap. Public roadmap. The only one thing we have, because of the limits of Helm client 2 or 3 doesn't matter. Helm package doesn't support extra namespace, so you cannot reference dependency charts in a chart center. But the plugin is in the works, so with the plugin we'll be able to pull that dependency chart for the chart center, and especially Helm 2 will still need a plugin, even if we do some PR to get fixed for Helm 3, but Helm 2 doesn't accept those things, so the plugins can be used by Helm 2 guys. I think that's it from my side. Any questions?
Sure. You said there are notes that can be the maintainer notes. What's the documented format for adding that stuff to a chart?
Yeah, so, okay, let me open my, oh yeah, this is explained here as well, mitigation notes. So all the process explained here. So basically, yeah, we have an example here. So basically, you add a file like this called security mitigation.yaml, and you can explain your CVEs. It could be Docker level, chart level, mitigation notes. And I created security example chart, basically, to learn the things for our community. Really happy to get involved with security mitigation, because that's very important, show security issues. And again, it will depend on the chart maintainers. Do you want to explain high security issues or not? Or just, if you don't explain, only medium ones will be shown or less. So how transparent, yeah, so stuff like that.
So one thing I don't, with some Helm charts in particular, it's kind of common to template out the image version so that the user can override and select a different image in the values.
Yeah, that's afterwards. But when you pack the chart, usually you have to provide a Docker image. So whatever comes by default, we check it. Whatever user does afterwards, yeah, you can override the image. Yes, fine. But
okay,
covering the official chart.
That's provided, but if a user overrides it, then that's what it is. Okay.
Yeah, it's up to user. We cannot control that, but at least whatever comes with the chart, we show as much as we can, because we're using our JFrog products, Artifactory, X-Ray to host to show security issues. So it's as well, we're not hiding our issues for our products, so we're totally transparent, and we hope community will be transparent as well with your product, because even if you're looking to Postgres from Vietnam, it has a load of issues, and there are loads of many challenges doing that.
So again, I'm going to get into this. So there's the security mitigations YAML file. Is this a JFrog thing? Where did this come from?
No, we added those out. It's a JFrog thing, basically. We just trying, it's not JFrog. If you add that part of a YAML file, chart, in this case, it will be processed at the chart center. We hope community might adopt it, because it's not really for JFrog. We're working for community. I'm in community team. We're not making money for it. It's totally free for everybody. So.
No, I'm more interested in this document because I haven't looked at it yet, but the idea of being able to capture this kind of information has uses far beyond Helm and charts. And so that's where my curiosity came into is other things in other places.
Yep. We're totally open where we expand as much as possible, because we're using it ourselves. We see our issues. We're fixing our CVEs and products. So.
Yeah, this is Ankush. Ankush. I'd like to add a few things. So, which is where we kept the format very generic, like affected package URI. For cloud native, to begin with, we are starting with Docker and Helm, and this is something which we saw, which is lacking in the community. There is no way to easily exchange security information between producers and consumers. And this is something that we are not only collecting, but it's something that we allow others to proxy as well. So if users, they need to proxy this information or pull this security mitigation from Chart Center, that's totally allowed.
Totally for community benefits, not only for everybody.
Okay. Does anybody have any other questions? All right. Well, thank you for the demo. Cool. Does anybody else have any other open discussion topics to discuss?
Stop sharing my screen.
It's not a discussion topic, or at least not yet, but I have a person, Ally, and he was present at SIG Apps last time, and before then, I wasn't able to join today. And Ally is currently rewriting the cron job controller. I'm reviewing actively his changes, so hopefully it's definitely not something for 119. That's definitely not going to happen that fast, but I'm hoping within the next couple of weeks we'll be able to put together a PR and send it out to the SIG Apps mailing list for general review.
Sweet. So you're targeting like maybe 120?
Yeah, 120 is definitely something that we want to go for, at least as the alpha. I'm pretty sure that there will be some additional things that will come up as we go, but I would like to get the initial version for 120.
On another note, I don't actually see Morton on. Janet's here though. Maybe you might know. Or is Morton still intending to target PDB for 120 as well?
I'll need to check with him to see what his plan is. I think currently his PR is being blocked by some API reviews.
His PR is still waiting on API review for sure. And it's not 119 milestone anyway. The issue update indicates he's targeting 120 as well, which would actually be a good release for us, right? If we get PDB and cron job GA.
Yeah.
But hold on, that's not a GA thing. Will be only based on the discussion that we had in the past. That will be an alpha for the new controller, and then we will be migrating that in the next release to beta, and only after a couple of releases.
Cron job, you mean?
Yeah, for cron job. Yeah.
Okay.
Even from what I was looking at the timeframes and based on the discussion that we had in the past, we will still have to move the clock for cron jobs through making V1 beta 2. And the reason for that is, if I remember correctly, the clock is set to expire in 120 to remove in 122, which, given that we will be doing the alpha, beta, and only after GA, we might run out of time. So we might want to do V1 beta 2 around beta phase, most probably, but I'm not 100% sure yet.
One plan that you might consider is this. If your plan is to start with an alpha version for the new controller and then promote that through beta, you could just do a V1 beta 2 for that promotion anyway, then deprecate V1 beta 1 and promote V1 beta 2 to GA. That might not be as painful.
Yeah, that would make sense, definitely. Well, definitely will somewhere around beta, we will be switching to the new controller by default with the ability to use the old one as a fallback. And once we GA the new one, the old one is gone entirely.
So what'll get interesting, the ideal path would be to go up through the API, the evolutions for V1 beta 1, and then like basically have the new controller ready, migrate to GA without requiring 2 steps. I mean, I think it would be worth asking for a variance if we're very close, to just say, look, can we not make all users have to upgrade through a deprecated API to get to GA?
Overall, the API should not change. From V1 beta 1 all the way to GA, I don't think that we will, I haven't planned at least modifying the API overall, just shipping it as is, because the majority of us agreed that it is pretty stable at this point in time.
I think the issue Ken was pointing is that if you change it to V1 beta 2, you have to update all your manifests, right?
Oh, that. Yeah, but then still, that means that, well, so within 119, you are basically using a deprecated API. You will have to migrate it one way or the other. You're suggesting to...
It would be if we could prevent people, if we could have people upgrade just from the V1 beta 1 to the GA, even though a V1 beta 2 is introduced, because while the V1 beta 1 is deprecated, it's still not completely removed from the API machinery and the storage version. Maybe we could save them an extra hop, right?
Oh, you're just saying that when we will be having the controller beta, we will just, instead of doing the beta 2, we will just GA instead, because we are pretty much on the path on a success path to
Either
GA
that
the
or ask for a
controller.
variance from the steering committee to try to just say, well, let's not, in the best interest of our users, let's try to avoid having to release this API just for the purposes of following convention when it adds no value to the project or to our users. Like, I mean, to me, we could at least go forward and ask, right? Because like,
I know what you mean.
yeah, like,
Yeah,
the
that's definitely
impetus
something
of
that's
forcing,
worthy
yeah.
discussing with the SIG.
Yeah.
I mean, because, like,
I mean, go ahead.
I was just going to say that, like, you know, the forcing function. So I would say from the perspective of having a forcing function to make us GA, they can call that a success because we move toward GA, and also we can take the best interest of users into account. So that, I mean, that feels like something the community would probably get behind.
I mean, either way, if everything will be on a happy path, the new controller at the point where it will be at beta should be already equal to the old one with regards to functionality, and at the same time, the performance should be significantly increased. And the eventual problems that will be coming up with informers is something that would not be even discovered on the old controller ever, because I'm assuming that the majority of the problems that we might have will be around just that, the interaction with the informers, not from the rest of the functionality. And we will definitely not be addressing any future development within that time frame, because that's not what I want to do. I want to GA what we have currently, and only when we have a stable GA, we can think about adding additional stuff that people want to have there. It's just, it'll be just simpler.
And that makes sense. I was just going to say, going from the beta 1 cron job straight to GA from an end user interface, right? Because all this other stuff with scaling and informers, that is targeting a more of a niche market. A lot of people use cron jobs today the way they are. And if they have to jump to another beta and then to GA, that adds more work to them. If they can go right from beta 1 to the GA manifest file and the manifest handling, that creates less work for them, which I think to the end users who do a lot of stuff will decrease their pain, which will decrease complaints and support to us.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. I'm only waiting for people to start complaining that cron jobs are deprecated.
Yeah.
When they open 119. And they start freaking out. So that will be.
We're going to freak out for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I did bring this up at the community meeting as well, and like kind of tried to make other SIGs and the community broadly aware that this is coming. So.
That's good. That's very good.
The other thing, there's at the top of the thing for next week, do we want to discuss this blue-green strategy for deployment?
Which one?
It's listed at the top of the meeting minutes as topics for discussion. I would like to put it in for the following meeting. I have thoughts, Janet and Mike have left some of theirs, but let's see, the overarching request is that we implement canaries and blue-greens as part of deployment built in for rollout strategies. So kind of like if you're familiar with Argo rollouts or what was the Flux thing called before they kind of joined forces? I forget the name of it, but Flux also had a product that did advanced rollout strategies with blue-greens and canaries. the requester is asking us to consider taking that functionality that's been prevalent in the community and kind of standardizing it, because I think their thesis is that, like, you know, there are a lot of third parties controllers that do it. Maybe it should be done in a standard way. It's like a native serving has some of this functionality. Argo rollout has some of it. There are other tools that perform canary updates in blue-green analysis. Some of the Spinnaker functionality tries to perform canaries. My actual thought is kind of like, you know, I don't see why we would need to take that into the built-in types, but I think it's worth at least a broader discussion.
Yeah, that's definitely worth a discussion, and plus one to have a broader discussion. But I would like to reread the feature request first before stating anything.
All right, yeah, let's pull it in. The link is to the feature request, so we can all read about it before the next meeting in 2 weeks.
Especially that Clayton already has a daemon set search proposal to be discussed for the next time. So I think it will be in a similar vein to talk about the functionality of daemon sets and deployments at the same time.
All right. So do we have anything else for today?
I'd like to schedule a bug scrub for next time as well.
All right, we'll have the bug scrub on. We'll put it at the end if we have time. All right, anything else? Going once, going twice. And we completed our meeting in 30 minutes. Thank you everyone for coming. Have a wonderful 2 weeks, and we'll be back in 2 weeks. And we've already got some topics lined up. So if you're interested, read up. Bye, y'all. Thanks for coming.
Thank y'all. Bye.
Thanks.
Thanks.